Welcome to EduRev.
Hello everyone, welcome to EduRev. This is Saran Nandula. In the previous video, we have discussed about the various physiographic divisions of India. Now, in this video, we are going to discuss about the first physiographic division, which is the Himalayan mountains. So let's just begin. So the Himalayas are the youngest and the highest mountain chain in the world. Now, what do you mean by youngest? So, the Himalayan mountains formed around 40 to 50 million years ago. The word MYA means million years ago. Now let us compare Himalayas to some of the famous mountain chains of the world, the Alps and Andes, and let us compare their age. The Alps of Europe formed around 770 million years ago. So these are very, very old. And the Andes of South America. Now the Andes have a special distinction here. Andes are the longest mountain chain in the world. So from north to south, they stretch more than 7,000 kilometers. Now the Andes of South America, they have started forming around 170 million years ago. Okay, so Himalayas are the youngest and the highest fold mountains. So we have just compared Himalayas with the Alps and Andes. Both Alps and Andes are also fold mountains. Now, fold mountains will be discussed in a separate video under geomorphology, so please don't worry about that. Now let us just discuss some of the characteristics of Himalayas. So these are the characteristics. First one is the high altitude. The Himalayan mountains contain some of the highest mountains in the world. Okay, the top highest mountains in the world are present in Himalayas. Anyway, we will discuss about it. So the first feature is high altitude. The second is steep gradient. So just look at the slopes of the Himalayan mountains here. So this is one of the famous Himalayan mountain and just look at its slope. The slopes are very steep. These are not gentle. These are very steep. The third one is snow-capped summits. So most of the Himalayan mountains are covered with snow throughout the year. So that is one of the defining characteristic of Himalayan mountains. Actually, that is where the name Himalayas came from. The translation of Himalayas in English means snow-capped mountains or snow-bearing mountains. Clear? The next one is youthful drainage. So Himalayan rivers are very young. If you compare Himalayan rivers which are taking their birth from the glaciers of Himalayas, now don't worry about this. A separate video will be taken in which the glaciers of Himalayas will be explained. So anyway, if you compare the Himalayan rivers with the peninsular rivers of India, like the Krishna, Godavari, Kaveri, Narmada, Tapi, etc., then the Himalayan rivers are geologically very, very young. Clear? So youthful drainage. The next one is complex geological structure. So what does it mean? The entire Himalayan region is a very complex topography. It is very difficult to map the region and it is very difficult to find a navigable route or path through the mountains. The entire area is very difficult to understand, very complicated and complex. And the last one is rich flora. So let us just elaborate upon the last characteristic, which is rich flora. Now, Himalayas are one of the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Now, what do you mean by biodiversity hotspot? A biodiversity hotspot has higher biodiversity compared to the other areas. Now, biodiversity hotspots will be discussed in detail in biodiversity chapter in environment and ecology. So don't worry about that. But as of now, you just have to keep few points in mind. Himalayas are one of the 34 biodiversity hotspots in the world. Now, biodiversity hotspots have higher biodiversity compared to the other areas. Now, if you want to classify an area as a biodiversity hotspot, then a condition must be satisfied. That is, a biodiversity hotspot should have at least 1,500 endemic plant species. So here we came across a new term, endemic or endemism. So let us just discuss this. Now, you can see this monkey here, right? The beautiful monkey with golden fur. So it is called the golden langur and it is endemic to the Himalayas. That means naturally, golden langur is only found in Himalayas and it is not found anywhere else on the planet. Now, human beings can introduce golden langur to some other habitats, but that doesn't count. Naturally, golden langur is only confined to Himalayas. It only lives in few parts of Himalayas and you can never find golden langur in any other part of the world. So that means golden langur is endemic to the Western Ghats. So I hope you understood the meaning of the word endemism. Now, Himalayas. Let us speak about the richness of Himalayas. Himalayas are the habitat to more than 10,000 plant species. Just imagine this. Out of which more than 3,000 plant species are endemic to the Himalayas. So Himalayas are very, very rich in biodiversity, especially rich in flora. So I hope you understood this topic. Now, proceeding further. Now let us discuss about the location of the Himalayas, where the Himalayas are located. So the area that is highlighted in the map, this is the location of Himalayas. Now, we know that Himalayas are stretching in the form of an arc or curve. So just look at this point. The Himalayas are spread across 5 countries: Bhutan, China, India, Nepal, and Pakistan. Clear? Now, this point is very, very important. The southern boundary of the Himalayas is well defined by the foothills. We call these foothills as Shivaliks. But the northern boundary is obscure. It means it is not clearly defined and it merges with the edge of the Tibetan Plateau. So let me just make it simple for you guys. So in the north we have Tibetan Plateau. In the south we have Indo-Gangetic Plain. So you can call this Indo-Gangetic Plain as the Great Plains of northern India also. So the Indo-Gangetic Plain has been formed by the Himalayan rivers. River Ganga and its tributaries, River Ganga and its tributaries, River Brahmaputra and its tributaries together have formed this vast plain stretching across northern India. So we will discuss about the Indo-Gangetic Plain in a separate video. Please don't worry about that. So to the north we have the Tibetan Plateau, which is the highest plateau in the world, also called as the roof of the world. To the south we have the Indo-Gangetic Plain. Now, just above the Indo-Gangetic Plain, we have a chain of low hills. So, these hills are food hills of the Himalayas and they are called Shivaliks. So, in between Shivaliks and the Tibetan Plateau, we find the Himalayan ranges. So, the southern boundary of the Himalayas is well defined by a chain of low hills, which are the outer foothills of Himalayas, also called Shivaliks. But the northern boundary of Himalayas is not well defined. It merges with the edge of Tibetan Plateau. It is obscure. What do you mean by the word obscure? It is not clear. You cannot clearly define it. The mountains just merge with the edge of the Tibetan Plateau. Clear? Now, just look at this point also. The width of the Himalayas. The width of the Himalayas varies from 400 km in Kashmir to around 150 km in Arunachal Pradesh. Clear, right? Now, let us just look at the image of Tibetan Plateau. So, China, India, and the region Tibet is marked here in dark pink, and you can find the boundaries of the Tibetan Plateau. Okay, so the region that is enclosed within the dotted line is the Tibetan Plateau. Within the Tibetan Plateau, the dark pink region is the autonomous region of Tibet, and this is China and India. So this is where you find Tibetan Plateau. Clear? Now let us also look at the images of Shivaliks, the outer foothills of Himalayas. So this is how they look like. Very beautiful, right? So Shivaliks is nothing but a chain of low hills, the outer foothills of Himalayas. Now, let us discuss about the height of the mountains in the Himalayas. The Himalayan mountain chains have the highest peaks in the world. The number of peaks which are higher than 8,000 meter is 14 in number. And the number of peaks which are more than 7,500 meters high are 20 in number. And the number of peaks which are more than 7,000 meter high are in hundreds. And there are many more mountains which are more than 6,000 meter high. Now, due to the complexity of the area, many mountains have not been mapped, they have not been counted, and they have not been named also. So that is the beauty of the entire Himalayan region. So that is the region, the Himalayan mountains are called as the king of the mountain chains. Clear? So just look at these figures. They speak for themselves. The number of mountains which are higher than 8,000 meter are 14 in number. And the number of mountains more than 7,500 meter high are 20 in number. Clear? Now, so just look at this image here. These bigger mountains which are pink in color, they are Himalayan mountains, the top highest mountains of the world, and they are compared with the other mountains which are present elsewhere outside the Himalayan region. So first we have Mount Everest, which is the highest mountain in the world. The second highest mountain is Mount K2. Third is Kanchenjunga. Third is Lhotse. Fourth one is Lhotse. Fifth one is Makalu. Next, we have Cho Oyu, Dhaulagiri 1, Manaslu, Nanga Parbat, Annapurna 1, Gashabram 1, Broad Peak, Gashabram 2, and Shishpangama. So these are the top highest mountains in the world. Okay. Now, the highest mountain, which is outside the Himalayan region, is Mount Aconcagua in Andes. Its elevation is 6,962 meters. I hope you're understanding. So this image explains how high and majestic the Himalayan mountains are. Okay, so these pink mountains are the top highest mountains in the world, and every mountain belongs to the Himalayan region. So outside the Himalayan region, the highest mountain in the world is Mount Aconcagua of Andes, which is around 7,000 meters high. Clear? Now, I hope you understood the magnificence of Himalayas. So let me just proceed. So you can see the images of the top 3 mountains in the world, the highest mountains in the world. So starting from left, you have Mount Everest, whose elevation is 8,848 meters high. Next, you have Mount K2, which is considered to be the toughest mountain to climb. It is around 8,611 meters. And next, you have Mount Kanchenjunga, which is around 8,586 meters high. So these are the top 3 highest mountains in the world in Himalayas. Clear, right? Now, we have Pamir Mountains in Central Asia. Again, Pamir Mountains are one of the most important mountain chains in the world. So Pamir Mountains are spread across the countries of China, Tajikistan, a little bit in Afghanistan and Pakistan. So from the Pamir Mountains, the Himalayas extend eastward in the form of a curve. Clear? So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it useful and informative. And thank you for watching this video. I wish you all the best.